I guarantee that you missed some of these fine details in the movie The Skeleton Key. I know because I have. This movie looks simple, but it is worthy of at least one rewatch to fully appreciate its plot twist. Here are some minor but cool details. If you quote them all from a single watch through, you have a sharp mind. First one is about this hospice patient. For the hospice staff, he was just another patient, a statistic on their records, just usual business. Caroline was tasked to throw away his stuff because his relatives couldn't care less about him to come and pick them up. Before he was reduced to this bedridden husk of his former self, he was living a rebellious life. How do I know this? Look at his most valued personal stuff in this box. He wasn't a loner. He had a loved one. There are few pins in the box. Make love, not war, and stamp out reality. They are popular anti-war slogans from the 60s which were used to protest the Vietnam War. Stamp out reality also a counterculture slogan that ties with the psychedelic used to alter one's reality. Judging from this stone pin, it seems like the old man was a stoner in his youth. All these pins, peace sign, and the live fast die young key tag suggest that he was a rebellious counterculture hipster. He also had a Walkman and a bunch of mixtapes in his possession. We can see Caroline is listening to a Walkman while she is looking for a new job. I'm not sure whether she took the Walkman from the dead man or not, but she definitely took his live fast die young key tag to put on her car key. Okay, this one should be obvious, but I embarrassingly failed to realize that this old woman is the same one in this creepy gas station. I thought the scene with the old woman on the road was there to show the crazy vibe in the bayou because this picture doesn't make sense. Here is a very old woman who can barely walk with a baby stroller. You can't see a baby, but there are some kind of weeds or herbs on the stroller. She could be a crazy woman wandering around in the bayou collecting garbage. But she is with a perfectly normal looking young girl. Old woman is white and the young girl is black. I always wondered who were they and why we do not get to see them again. Finally something clicked in my brain and I realized that the woman with the stroller and the woman with the baby are the same person. How stupid of me. Old woman isn't crazy, but she is not right in the head either. Anyone in their right mind cannot condone Papa Justify and Mama Cecile's actions against their employer's two children. As a hoodoo practitioner herself, the old woman knows what Papa Justify and Mama Cecile's were up to. She is the one who told Caroline about the conjure of sacrifice and what it does. With all that knowledge, she still sympathizes with Papa Justify and Mama Cecile's fate. She says this about them.
Strongest conjuration of all. They say Justify discovered it, but he got killed before he learned to work it. Him and his poor wife both.
Who is she calling poor? These two wicked witches who were ready to sacrifice two innocent children for their selfish gains? Maybe there is another reason for her to side with the evil witches aside from their common interest in hoodoo. Look at this photo. It's not clear, but I think that is Papa Justify in that photo. If that's Papa Justify, then there are few possibilities. Papa Justify was a pioneer in hoodoo witchcraft. He was the one who allegedly discovered the immortality. So some hoodoo practitioners may keep his photo to revere him. Photo sits on a speaker and the speaker is playing some kind of a sermon, similar to Papa Justify's recordings. It could be one of Justify's own sermons. People in this hoodoo shack could be either Papa Justify's disciples or descendants, or both. Whoever they are, Papa Justify means no harm toward them, because Justify could cross the brick dust line protecting old woman's hut. Let's go from Papa Justify to Mama Cecile. Mama Cecile, who is in Violet Devereaux's body, uses small talk to gather information about Caroline. By the way, I have a separate video explaining who is in whose body at which time. Back to the topic. Papa Justify, or rather Papa Justify in lawyer Luke Marshall's body, was spying on Caroline. So they already have their reasons to choose her as the next host for Mama Cecile. But still, Mama Cecile extracts some additional information from Caroline to make sure that Caroline is a perfect fit. In here, Violet half-jokingly asks about whether Caroline has tattoos or not.
You're written on, aren't you?
Caroline says,
Not where you can see.
well, she has a tattoo just above her left butt cheek, which is not visible when she is fully clothed. In the scene where we can see her tattoo, there is someone moving behind Caroline. We can see their shadow. That could be Violet snooping around to check out Caroline's hidden tattoos. I have a hypothesis about the importance of tattoos. I'll talk about it later. Then Violet asks Caroline about her parents.
Are your parents still alive? Well, my mom left when I was little. My dad raised me, and he died last year.
Finally, Violet asks Caroline about her religion.
You religious at all?
Try to keep an open mind.
All these questions she asks on three separate occasions. When you look at them all at once, you can clearly see that Violet, or rather Mama Cecile, is vetting Caroline. Now she knows that Caroline does not have parents who would notice sudden changes in their daughter's behavior when the body jump happens. So no one close enough to come looking for her the second they realize that Caroline is acting weird. As far as we know, Caroline only has her roommate Jill as a close one. No other friends, no relatives, no lovers. Since she has left her hospice job, no colleagues. Second point, about the religion. I have a feeling that it is hard or not possible to possess religious ones using hoodoo. I think religious people get extra protection against hoodoo because of their faiths. And also, religious people do not stick around to mess with witchcraft. They leave. On the other hand, it is harder to convince a skeptic to believe that hoodoo is real. So someone like Caroline, who is an agnostic and open-minded person, is a perfect candidate for their plan. About tattoos. Distinct tattoos can be used to describe a person to identify them. But in here, that doesn't matter, because people are not going missing. No one is going to launch an investigation to find a missing person. My hypothesis is that some tattoos can provide protection against hoodoo spells, especially religious symbols. Even hoodoo practitioners use religious symbols like cross-shaped candles for some rituals. You can see many statues and candles that shaped like religious symbols in Mama Cynthia's hoodoo shop. After watching the movie, we now know that it wasn't Violet herself doing all these evil things. We have no idea what she was like before the body jump. It was Mama Cecile all along, possessing Violet's body. There is a small clue from the early in the movie to hint this. It's Violet's cigarette addiction. She smokes these distinct black thin cigarettes. You may say, of course, it is even a plot point to show Caroline picking up a cigarette from Violet's purse to indicate the body jump. So it's not a secret or a hidden clue. Yes, that's true. But if you pay closer attention, you can see that Mama Cecile is smoking same kind of cigarettes in the flashbacks which are shown early in the movie. You will notice this detail on your rewatches because you already know what to look for. But if you made this connection on your first watch through, you are a genius. which I am not. Next one is bit tricky. It's identifying the exact moment Caroline starts to believe in hoodoo. Even at the very end, she tries to deny that she is believing in hoodoo. First, I thought that she was telling the truth. I thought her change of mind was subconscious and she realized it too late. But crack in her skepticism starts to appear way early. First, something happens to her when she is listening to the record Papa justifies conjure of sacrifice. Looks like a shiver runs through her body as a response to some invisible force. In the beginning, Caroline treats hoodoo as some make believe superstition. She tries to use hoodoo remedies on paralyzed old man Ben as a psychosomatic treatment because she believes that he believes hoodoo is real. But the hoodoo remedy works exceeding her expectations. Paralyzed man starts to move and begins to talk. In her disbelief, Caroline says,
It's all in your head.
even though she says that out loud, I think this is the moment she starts to believe that there is some truth to all this mystic nonsense. So when she has had a weird nightmare, she is spooked enough to leave the house. She stays behind only because she cannot make up her mind to leave poor Ben behind. Caroline tests the brick dust line trick on Violet. Violet doesn't cross the line. Later, when she is trying to escape from the witches, Caroline uses brick dust lines to block off Violet and the lawyer. At this point, she is fully believing in hoodoo. She even calls her friend Jill and says,
Jill, I'm in trouble. It's real. It's all real.
so when she draws the conjuration of supreme protection, she fully expects it to protect her from Violet and the lawyer Luke Marshall. As a last ditch attempt, she tries to deny her belief,
I don't believe.
but she isn't fooling anyone.
Oh, I think you do.
Movie leads you to believe that Violet and Luke Marshall are trying to perform Papa Justifies conjure of sacrifice to prolong their lifespans. But the plot twist of the movie reveals that they are none other than Papa Justify and Mama Cecile themselves on other people's bodies. They are very good at keeping their cover. But Luke Marshall indicates that he is older than he looks a little bit before the plot twist. Since I had no idea what to look for, I missed that clue first time. When Caroline discovers Lawyer's secret that he is also a hoodoo practitioner, Lawyer attacks Caroline to subdue her. Then he says,
Good night, child.
"Good night, child," to unconscious Caroline. Luke Marshall could be in his mid-30s, but Papa Justify is way older than his host body. At this point, he doesn't have a reason to hide his true age. After that, Justify takes Caroline back to Violet. During the drive, he goes on a tangent and says, everywhere you look, it's whole new world, all around you. It's like being born or dying. Of course, I wouldn't know. He talks like someone who has cheated death, which he has multiple times. When Justify brings Caroline to Violet, or rather Mama Cecile, she says something to indicate the fate of Caroline. Everything Caroline has found out about in that house suggests that Violet and Luke are going to kill Caroline as a sacrifice. But later, Violet reveals that the actual plan is not to kill her, but to possess her body. That's why she tells Justify,
Don't scratch her up any more than she already is.
Mama Cecile wants to keep her next host body intact. There is an interesting fact about their hosts. All of their victims, two children, Ben and Violet Devereaux, Luke Marshall, and finally Caroline, are white. No single black person. Not because of lack of trying. Mama Cecile says,
I told you I wanted a black one this time.
Papa Justify points out the problem by saying,
You know the black ones never stay.
black people are more cautious about hoodoo. Caroline's friend Jill says that she doesn't believe in hoodoo, But at the same time, she refuses to even set foot in a hoodoo shop. Ben's previous caregiver, Haley, has bailed out from that job because her mother has warned her about the dark history of that house. Haley wants Caroline to leave the house before she starts to believe in hoodoo. As I understand, both Jill and Haley are born and raised locals of New Orleans. Jill has an aunt who is into hoodoo. Haley's mother knows about the tragic fate of Martin and Grace Thorpe, so they are wary enough to stay away from anything spooky. On the other hand, Caroline, Ben and Violet are outsiders. Caroline originally came from New Jersey.
Hoboken, New Jersey.
Violet and Ben came from Savannah, Georgia.
We came over from Savannah in '62.
Caroline fell victim to her curiosity. Justify and Cecil need curious, open-minded people as their targets. Hoodoo spells do not work on full skeptics. People who are aware of hoodoo and local history easily get spooked and bail out if they sense something is wrong. So Papa Justify and Mama Cecil have to target people who are in the sweet middle spot to the both ends. I completely missed this next point on my first watch through. I caught it later and it completely changed my understanding of the movie. It's only one word, so it is easy to miss. After Mama Cecil jumps from Violet's body to Caroline's body, she feeds a potion to induce paralysis on Violet. When she feeds it, she says, there, Caroline, not there, Violet.
There, Caroline.
This one word changes the fate of their victims. If it is there, Violet, that means Mama Cecil was possessing Violet, and now Violet is free and in control of her body. Initially, I thought that victims get to be free after losing a long chunk of their lives to evil witches' control. Well, not for long, but at least they can die as themselves. But that's not what's happening in here. Cecil says, there, Caroline. Violet is not in her body. She was long gone. Justify and Cecil are not possessing their victims. They completely displace their victims' souls and take complete control of their bodies. Victims' souls get trapped in witches' old host bodies. So these young souls have to die trapped in some stranger's body. I have a separate video to explain their body switching mechanism. Check that out to get a clear picture and subscribe for more.